Redeemer, good to see you. As you can see, I've got two great guests with us today. I'm really excited to be having a conversation today about Trail Life. And it's an initiative that we've been hoping to have in 2020. And I'm really absolutely thrilled. But let me introduce the two people that are with us today. This is Mark Sanchez and this is Steven Contreras. And we're just going to talk to them personally before we get into our content and kind of catch up with what life is like for them during this time. So Mark, you first. How's your family doing, and what is God teaching you during this shelter-in-place season of life?
It's going great at home. Everyone's healthy. Everyone's pitching in. We're getting a lot of housework done.
Yes.
And so it's been going well. Transition. We have two kids, so transitioning to kind of a homeschool model that's heavy on the internet. We're using a lot of bandwidth, but it's been going well. Thankfully, everyone's healthy, and like I said, kids are still learning, so that's good. God, we've had this discussion in the past, you and I, about there being concerns about people having margin in their life, especially in our church. We got a lot of busy people.
Yeah.
And God's got a great sense of humor, doesn't he? He's just, you want margin?
That's right. I'm going to give it to you.
There it is.
That's great.
Pouring it on. And so we as a family have embraced the margin that we have now, and we are loving it.
Good.
And God is teaching us so much with the amount of free time that we have. I really believe that it's going to really transform how we transition back in.
Yes.
When things start to let up, I really believe that what we've been gifted at this time, we're not gonna let go of it very easily. I really believe that we're going to be more intentional about our decisions with time and our priorities, and that's just something really awesome God's teaching us.
Life's busy. I work in a school, I work in a church, I have kids in high school, so there's sports and music. But our kids are in a routine of having daily devotionals by themselves, and if they do that for 21 days, it becomes a habit, and it'd be really cool to see how. I'm excited to hear just from families of man, we made a worship time in our family a priority. 3 times a week we get together and just talk about God, or that's gonna be cool. How about you, Steven?
Things are going good. Morgan's working, and so that's one part of it that adds a little bit more stress because she has to work in the clinic and deal with all that. But she's doing fine, and at home I'm just adjusting to working from home and then also homeschooling, and then Reagan, she's so young, having the 3 kids, and it's an adjustment that we have to make. So
right.
I think the kids really do miss. We're such a family-oriented family. Going with their grandparents and going with their cousins, and we're at their house weekly, if not every other day. And it's an adjustment. Yeah, it's an adjustment for them. So, and then the fact that Morgan's at home, I'm doing them there. So things have been a little bit more on the adjusting side and having to get used to it. But for the most part, good thing is everyone's healthy. We're still having laughs and seeing Reagan just grow up, and the boys being able to spend more time with Reagan. It's always fun. So.
What's God teaching you, particularly at this time?
In my own life, I think, and I know it is that He, again, providentially, in this time, make me understand more about my grace towards my family and how I could be more gracious during this time. And there's a lot of elevated stress. Even through that, He can still teach me how to be gracious and just be more understanding. I sometimes in my mind I work it kind of militaristically. I want things done and get things done. Focus, routine, and boys are not routine. Reagan's not a routine. So it's just having to having that grace issue in my face all the time it's pretty humbling. Good. And also I really got to encouragement too with in my community group, reaching out to a certain individual, and we were able to basically talk about the same thing. That's something that our community group has just stayed really strong, stayed really communicative and focused.
That's good.
And it's good to know that I could talk to someone in the community group about that struggle, and they kind of feel the same way about their own life. So it's good.
That's awesome. I like it. Yeah, I know it's just the routine of seeing people, especially family. Like, we see Juan and Rachel and the kids and we just wave, because they were walking at night. But it's just weird to have that social cutoff so quick. So, our kids are learning, right?
Yeah.
So let's get into trail life. We're going to have very particular questions, and then each guy will answer a certain question so that you can know about trail life and why it's a great ministry for you, your family, and your boys. Mark, what is trail life? What's the vision behind trail life?
Well, basically, scouting has one major name, which is the Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
Right? And throughout history, churches and even denominations have kind of taken stabs at having more Christ-centered, more even denominationally focused scouting programs. But in recent history, as the Boy Scouts have made some shifts culturally, maybe they should have zigged instead of zagged.
Sure.
Some people say.
Yeah.
There's been a bit of a dissent that occurred. Now, basically, what Trail Life is it's some leadership from the Boy Scouts have decided that they want to kind of return to those ancient paths and not only prepare young men for life, but also focus on spirituality, focus on Christ-centeredness. And so what Trail Life is a Christ-centered Trinitarian scouting program that is church-based. So every Trail Life chapter is sponsored by a church. So it's not independent of a church. It's there's going to be
Oversight. There's going to be some spiritual,
absolutely,
perspective on that truth.
It's not, how would you say? It's not a peripheral priority. It is a central priority.
Well, when I go on their website, it's like a Christ-centered program. I mean, they don't hide the fact that they're Christ-centered. So
Blatant. It's out there.
It's pretty amazing. And I think it's a great tool to teach, character and development and skills, but also deal with the heart, which is, Proverbs says that, guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life, And so you got to do everything. It's holistic,
And we know this as parents, as I've been a youth pastor before, as coaches.
Yeah.
There's something always critical about having disciplines, whether they're spiritual
That's right.
disciplines
Music.
or
yes.
skills-based disciplines, but your efforts are going to be pretty much wasted if there isn't a heart transformation.
Amen.
And so getting their eyes on Scripture, putting their eyes on Christ, and we've discussed this so many times in personal conversations, there's just something about looking to Christ
Yes.
that does something that all the discipline in the world could never do.
That's right.
And we're not throwing away discipline.
No. But when you combine them together,
Yes.
it's powerful.
Yes. Yes. It gets
Right? Now you
nuclear.
want to do those things.
Absolutely.
You not have to. Thank you. Stephen, what is unique about our name? Our name is TX1314. That's our troop name, right?
That's the true name. So TX1314 comes from 1 Corinthians 16:13-14. It says, "Be watchful, stand firm in the faith, act like men, be strong. Let all that you do be done in love." And the reason for that is every troop with Trail Life gets to choose a designation of what their identifier is. So your state where you're from, which we're from Texas, and then now you add the verse from 1 Corinthians 16:13-14. So that's what the leadership had decided on. And what I like so much about the verse is that, for one, you're holding each other accountable as men, right? Boys eventually become men, and you hold each other accountable, and you're walking in love in that, and focus on Christ. And it's a Christ-centered message. So that's one thing that I like about it, and it's just good for a time like this to have that position and saying, you know what, we know that these boys will eventually become men, and we want to try our best to bring them forward as model citizens and also as believers in Christ, to understand the idea of this Christ-centered mentality.
I love it. I love our name. It's a great troop name. So, Mark, why does a family signing up during this season of shelter in place actually become an advantage for us? Like, we didn't want to hold off and launch in June or July. We said, let's do it now. Explain why this is a great time.
I read a book one time, and the title was "Do Hard Things,"
Yeah.
and I think it was written by the Harris brothers.
Mm-hmm.
And launching a scouting ministry during the COVID-19 quarantine, shutdown, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
You want to talk about hard.
Yeah.
I can't think of a better time, actually,
Awesome.
because of the priorities, not just Trail Life's priorities, but Redeemer's priorities.
That's right. Yeah.
And Redeemer is a family-focused church. And oftentimes we see, not just in scouting programs, but in other social activity programs, it's easy. It's easy for parents to come and drop their kids off on a Sunday afternoon or a Tuesday night and say, we're going to go have dinner and we'll come back. We're going to enlist parents. We're going to enlist dads.
Yes.
We're going to enlist dads. And no, it's not going to be comfortable. And yes, there's going to be a technology bridge to cross.
Sure.
And there's going to be effort.
Mm-hmm.
But my prayer is that the margin that
Is
we
there,
have
yes.
is going to
That's
to
right.
give us the freedom to do that.
Yes.
And dads are going to be able to connect with their sons and learn their hearts.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just really get into your son's heart.
Amen.
Like you don't have time to on a normal.
That's
day,
right.
You know, and this is the time to do it.
This is
This
so
is the
great.
time to do it. So, we're going to have dads go ahead and register with Trail Life themselves, so they'll become members, and then they will add their sons as members also. Trail Life has a rule of 2 deep leadership, so there must always be 2 adult leaders, no matter what. And so Dad's going to fulfill that second leadership role within the home, and we will do a lot of our lessons through Google Classroom.
Okay.
So we're going to have a 2-tier system. One will be a spiritual component, where our chaplain, Daniel Villa,
Yeah.
will be producing some weekly or bi-weekly devos.
Okay.
And so these we're kind of going from topical
Mm-hmm.
to also even looking at some catechismic
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically he'll do the discussion part, and there will be assessments and assignments that the kids can complete and submit via Google Classroom. And we will also have some skills stuff, which is it's an outdoor thing, where we can share videos of knot tying. We've already seen some things, kids getting together on Zoom and doing knot tying competitions together. See who can get it. So it's going to be great. It's going to be great. Right now, there's an initiative through Trail Life called the Nationwide Backyard Campout.
Okay. Okay. So
So-
pushing people to have a camp out with your kid in the backyard.
Right, and we'll get details out on that
That's
as
fine.
we get more familiar with it ourselves. But just because we can't meet
Mhm.
physically, and just because I know that today Governor Abbott shut down the state parks, so state parks were not open anymore. Just because these barriers have come up doesn't mean that the water can't find a way to flow.
That's right.
And so we're believing that technology is going to get us a great start. And then when we can meet together, dads will be involved with
Yeah.
a much bigger,
Yeah.
much more robust
Love that.
troop than maybe some of the others that are having to catch on to the technology.
When they say how you start is really important because it's formative. How you begin anything, it's like forming your DNA. And so I like that dads can engage right away and start doing some of these things
Yes.
and be literally on the front lines of the program.
Absolutely.
It's going to be really cool to see where this is at in the fall
Yeah.
when we have parents this involved. I'm excited about that.
And I believe that our dads are going to rise to the challenge.
I think so too.
We have great dads at New York.
We do. I think it's going to be a great ministry. Stephen, how do people sign up? And what would be their first kind of action item? I will be giving information at the end of this, a slide that has the link and their phone numbers, but how do people sign up? What's that look like?
So you're going to go to traillifeconnect.com, and again, if we're going to show a presentation, we're going to show a slide at the end to kind of show that information. If you have any questions, also you can reach out to me. I can shoot you a text of the link, or I can email the link to someone, a parent that wants to register their child. I can email them the link as well, so that way they can have that registered. They can start the registration process. Again, we'd like for the father to register first, and then add their child after that. Go through that. It's pretty self-explanatory, but again, if there's any help needed, reach out to me. I'm working from home, so I got a little bit of time to do it, and it's not that hard. It doesn't take that long. I already registered my sons. I registered, of course, myself, and it'll be pretty straightforward. And then from there, we're going to go into more curriculum-based things.
Got it.
The lessons and all that. But for now, we just want to get people registered, get in contact with people, touch base, and kind of see what we're going to do, go from there.
What the interest is, what your focus will be.
Yeah.
I like it. And I think what we can do with this new texting the whole church, there's a link on our Facebook for people that are, maybe not as connected to our church, but everyone in our church that's in our database, we'll send you the link for Trail Life sign up, okay? Mark, what has been an encouragement for you during the launching of Trail Life? What's been
As you
encouragement?
know, the launching is taking a long time.
Yes, we thought February, and here we are.
We've had to keep pushing it back for different reasons, and then COVID hit, and I'm sitting here scratching my head thinking to myself, God, did you want this to happen at all?
Yeah.
The consistent interest and support and encouragement that
That's been
we've
great.
received
Yeah.
from not only our leadership at Redeemer, and the leadership at Redeemer has been amazing and encouraging and constantly checking in on us, making sure that we're moving forward. But I had a great email discussion with the operations manager of the Delta Lake Irrigation District this past week, and just kind of getting feelers out there, trying to locate units and areas where we can eventually have physical presence,
Yeah.
to do some of these skills work. And every time I reach out in the community, people that are not connected to our church, people that are just out there, whether it's a superintendent of a school district, and they all say, "Thank you for doing this.
That's cool.
We need this so badly.
Yeah.
Not enough of this is going on in our community." And so just the overwhelming support, just the back of the mind knowledge of people coming forward with it saying, yes, we need that.
Yeah.
This is needed.
People see it, the need.
It's an instant recognition and an instant amount of support, and it just constantly confirms and affirms that we're on the right path here. This is something that's necessary.
Amen.
And as one of the major points of scouting that is taught is readiness. And I think that if anything that we've learned over the past few weeks is sometimes we can get a little, we kind of rest on our laurels a little bit, and we're not ready.
Yeah.
And
For whatever may come.
For whatever may come.
That's right.
And just kind of having a attitude and an intentional preparedness about your life is an important skill that I think that raising our young men that way with that.
Preparing them for the unknown.
Yeah, because you just don't
Yeah.
know what's coming.
That's right.
And to also even hold loosely to some of the things of this world, so that they're just prepared spiritually and physically.
Amen.
So yeah, been real encouraged.
Good. Stephen, what are you most excited about with Trail Life? Because the more you meditate and plan and register, what are you the most excited about?
I'm just most excited about one of the things that we got training videos that we have with Trail Life as leadership and all that. And there was one point that the person made that I just thought it stuck out to me so well. It says the Trail Life slogan is Christ-centered, boy focused, and we are more concerned with the boys' relationship with Christ than we are Patches, right? The achievements that they earn.
Wow.
To me, that automatically, I'm all about the supremacy of Christ, and hey, how can we talk more about that?
Yes.
And I'm just like, man, this is something that I can do. With my boys, that it's more Christ focused. I mean, there's, like you said, Mark said, there's a lot that we got going on in our lives. I mean, I help. I'm assistant coach at for my boys soccer team, and then just other things that we do. This is more geared towards, hey, we're focusing on Christ here, apart from our Sunday gathering and also, the fact that they, on the community group, when they get together, they go to Awanas and all that stuff. But this is something where him and I, or the boys and I, can get together, focus on that, and then doing a little activity on the side that they can earn a badge.
I like that.
But just the supremacy of Christ idea, the Christ-centered mentality is what really excited me about this.
I think one of the things that's important, and we're going to wrap this up, is that you're never going to go higher than your leadership. And for Trail Life leadership, to want to put that in a training video and be like, our priority is Christ, you know that it's going to trickle down. And I'm excited about that. So again, we're going to give you a link and information to register. I hope you'll do it. If you catch this video and you're just a dad in the community, we want you to join in.
Please.
And get on that link. I know we're interested in meeting other families in the valley. You don't have to be in Redeemer at all. And we want to be an encouragement to you. And we hope that you'll get plugged in. Thank you so much. Look at the slide that have information there. And it'll have both of these men's phone numbers. And we hope that you'll take a part of Trail Life. Thank you, Ben.
I'd like to say one more thing.
Yeah.
The first phone call I've gotten from ever since Redeemer officially announced the Trail Life chapter was someone that was not from Redeemer.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I mean, don't just because this the chapter is church owned and operated, we're still accepting people from outside of the community.
It's a great point. Thank you so much. Bye, Redeemer.